How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, aka Slammerella. Today we're doing another horror films to watch or avoid, and we've got 5 more movies to check out. This time we've got a few films that are really cool, one not so much, and a couple that I've been meaning to pick up for a while. So the first one is going to be a interesting clown movie called Clown. This one is an Eli Roth film called Clown from, I believe, about 2013. This, I don't know why some people shit on it, and apparently it's considered not that great. This film I thought was really good. I like most things that Eli Roth does, and this film is no exception. The starting of it is basically a father who, whatever reason, can't get a hold of a party clown for his kid, so he decides, while he's cleaning up a building, while he's doing his real estate, to put on a clown outfit that he finds in an old dusty trunk. So he puts it on, he has a nice little birthday party for his kid, and then when it's all said and done, he goes to take it off and can't. So now he's riding around to and from his job, to and from work, doing things here and there, still in the clown costume, trying to figure out ways of taking it off via a chisel, via saw, via, fucking sledgehammer. He just can't find a way to take this damn thing off. And now he's trying to contact the owner of the building, or the relative of the person that owned the building, and tell them that they've found this outfit and have had no luck taking the damn thing off. And as it's going on, he's becoming hungrier and hungrier for something that he can't quite tell what it is, because food doesn't do anything for him, and now he just feels this extra craving in the bottom of his stomach. So as it goes on, he figures out that this craving is for souls, and not just any souls, the souls of children. So you can see how this is going to cause a problem for his family and his kid. And he reaches out to the brother of the person that owned this clown outfit beforehand, and he basically says it's cursed. It's not a clown suit, it's the skin of a demon in the form of a Halloween costume. And the longer he's in it, the more overtaken by this demon he will be, and the more he will crave child souls. Yeah, so with that description, how could you not want to watch this? It's creepy. It has that clown phobia element to it that everyone who hates clowns has. It's got demonic supernatural possession. It's got the potential for the taking of children's lives and souls. It's got spooks, it's got scares, it's got gore, it's got demonic transformation in it. I don't know what else to tell you about this film, but to go fucking watch it. It's so good. And the more and more he delves into becoming this clown, and the more souls he takes, the more evil he becomes, and more like just disfigured and disformed the clown he becomes. Yeah, this is awesome. Absolutely love this film. Probably one of my favorite movies from Eli Roth, and can't recommend it enough. This is a solid 9.5 out of 10 for me. I don't know if you could do a sequel or a prequel to this, but I would definitely watch it in a heartbeat. Definitely check out Eli Roth's Clown from 2013 if you can find it and get your hands on it. It's not easy to get a hold of, but you can probably track down a copy. Not too bad. All right, moving on to another kind of semi-evil clown movie. This one is more done in a dark comedy. There's definitely some gore in it, though. This is Stitches. Stitches the Clown. This has more of a UK, British kind of dry humor in it, but there's also some pretty funny slapstick and gore moments in it. Very dark humor. And yeah, I don't know what to say about it besides definitely go check it out. It's really good. There's some really funny moments. There's some really fucked up moments in this for sure. It's another one of those, kid has a birthday party, the clown shows up, and the clown slips and falls and lands on a knife, impaling himself through the eye and dies. The clown gets buried, and there's like a local clown cult that, for whatever reason, when you become a clown in this movie, you paint an egg with your clown makeup on it, and I guess it harnesses the soul of the clown if it dies prematurely and becomes like some sort of possessed relic. Anyways, 12 years later or 13 years later or something, no, it doesn't even say. It's like years after their prank. So basically when they're kids and now they're in high school, he comes back out of the grave and he starts tormenting the kids as this kind of demonic, well, not demonic, more like a supernatural enhanced zombie version of the clown he once was, and starts offing the kids that killed him in the beginning one by one in various ways, sometimes very humorous, gory ways. And the kids have to figure out how to stop him and figure out why, well, they have to figure out why he's back, how to stop him, and it's interesting. I like it. It could be better here and there. Some of the acting could be way better. They definitely don't have top-notch actors in this, but if you can get over the shitty acting and you can kind of just focus on the neat story that's going on and the kind of lore behind why Stitches has come back and the kind of clown cult that, I don't know, there's just a lot of really neat, goofy, cool lore, kills, and humor in this. Highly recommended. It's not as super serious or as intense as Eli Roth's clown movie, but this is really, really good in my opinion. An 8 out of 10 for me. Go check out Stitches. Really good killer clown film. The next one, oh man. This one I got because of the cover. I mean, you hear a movie called The Trees Have Eyes, and you either think one of two things. This is going to be amazing and awesome, just like The Hills Have Eyes and The Hills Run Red, or you're going to think this is going to be some cheesy C-grade level bullshit. Well, let me tell you, it was not the first one. It was sadly C-level grade bullshit. And it sucks because just look at that cover. That looks cool as fuck, and the title is cool as fuck, and it's, you know, it's got zombies in it. And the premise even sounds good. A group of bounty hunters head into the New England forest to track down a dangerous felon. But as they get further into the woods, they begin to realize there is something far deadlier than a murderer on the run. The group suddenly finds themselves surrounded by a seemingly endless horde of the undead with no shelter, no help, and no end to the carnage. Survival seems hopeless. Like, doesn't that sound amazing? Doesn't that sound like something you'd want to spend $12 plus tax on? I know I sure thought it would be, but oof. Terrible. It's surrounded in awesomeness, but the content is garbage. Like, the acting is probably some of the worst C-level acting I've seen in a long ass time. The characters are completely unbelievable, and as soon as I started seeing a bunch of titties and some lesbian scenes, I'm like, fuck. I know this is gonna be bad, because when a horror movie has to rely on tits and lesbians and guns, yeah, it's all downhill pretty much. So only watch this if you are super desperate for some backwoods hick titties and really PG lesbian scenes and some really misogynistic toxic masculinity bullshit when it comes to some of the bounty hunters and the main chick's boyfriend in this. Just, ah, my god, terrible. Just eye-rollingly cringy and terrible. This movie had so much potential with the name, the cover, the synopsis, and just, it looks like your best friend that you knew since high school decided to go out in the middle of the woods and film it on his iPhone with a couple of his best friends and their parents, and maybe like $1,000 for like blood and gore. But that's about it. So sadly, I'm gonna have to give this a 3.5 out of 10. This was horrible. It's a shame that this movie wasn't as good as the packaging and the synopsis. Otherwise, we would have had one hell of a film here. My God. Only watch this if, once again, if you have literally nothing else to do and you want to see some titties, or you just, I don't know, have $2 that's burning a hole in your pocket and you see it in the used bin somewhere. Cannot recommend this. Probably would just avoid it. 3.5 out of 10. All right, the next two had to get in my collection. I'm a big fan of Blumhouse and Twisted Pictures and the Conjuring series. So this one came in earlier today and I couldn't wait to watch it. That is Annabelle Creations. So the second film in the trilogy came in this nice kind of holographic slipcover with the eyeballs moving around like that. And this is the main cover, what you're mostly going to be seeing. This was a lot better than I remember it. I knew it was all right when I first watched it. More than likely a little bit better than the first one. I really liked the first one. Apparently the first one didn't get the most amazing reviews. I enjoyed it. This one apparently got like crazy good reviews, and I think about a 76 fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Once again, I don't give a shit what Rotten Tomatoes says. I don't base my judgments on films solely on critics or other people that review films and stuff like that. I make up my own decision to whether it's worth purchasing or watching or not, and so should all of you. This one is no different in that matter, and I think that this was pretty darn good. I'd say the 76 fresh is a fairly accurate description of how well this movie is. Maybe a little better, maybe even an 80, because I would definitely give this an 8 out of 10 for the Annabelle series. This one is good. It goes into literally how the doll was made. The movie starts off with the toy maker whittling away and carving the pieces up for it and putting it together and giving it to his daughter. And right at the beginning of the movie, the daughter meets a pretty quick, swift end, and then it cuts forward about 12 years or so to this group of orphans moving into their giant country manor and living there, and the Mullins family take in all these kids for now and set up a new orphanage. And slowly but surely, one of the girls discovers the room and secret closet that is inside this manor of the girl that died, and eventually the Annabelle doll, and things from there start unraveling and getting darker and creepier, and mysterious things start happening to some of the kids, and they start seeing different demonic presences and ghosts and things moving by themselves. The main little girl in this is getting stalked, hunted by the Annabelle demon, and yeah, it's pretty good. The scares are interesting, the build-ups are pretty effective, and the creepy atmosphere is there throughout the entire movie. The execution of the story and the progress of how creepy and how intense the supernatural elements are building is really, really good. Yeah, it's definitely one of the better Conjuring films for sure. I would say way better than The Nun, maybe a little better than The Conjuring Part 2, probably just as good as Sinister 2 or a little better than Sinister 2. So if you're wondering if Annabelle Creations is worth checking out after Annabelle the first one, it definitely is. It's definitely a step up. A lot of people would say it's a step up, and I really, really enjoyed it, and it was way better than I remembered it. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Alright, and the last one for this episode of Horror Films to Watch or Avoid. That is the third installment of Annabelle and another installment of the Conjuring series. This is Annabelle Comes Home. This follows the Warrens after they have acquired the Annabelle doll off of a family that have claimed that it has haunted them and has demonic forces surrounding it, and they take it away from the family and start on their journey back home with it. They run into a situation where they break down, and where they break down is right in front of, wouldn't you know it, a cemetery. So while Ed Warren is working on the engine and trying to get it started, the Annabelle doll is a beacon for all evil supernatural forces around it. therefore attracting all the ghosts near him, and he almost gets killed by a runaway truck. And then it cuts from there, and the story starts with their little girl being kind of bullied at school. A lot of people kind of whispering about the Warrens and how they're kind of a family that's cursed with death, and no one really likes them or wants to be around them. And she has to try to make friends where she can, and her birthday party is going to be soon, but she's not sure if anyone's going to want to show up for it. Anyways, all that filler information aside, she ends up being babysitted the night before her birthday, and the babysitter and her friend are looking after her overnight, and the friend of the babysitter has a father that has passed away and knows about the Warrens' involvement with the supernatural and the undead and all that. So when she discovers that the Warrens have a lot of their relics and shit in the basement, she decides to find a way into the basement in order to contact her dead father and tell him she's sorry for whatever happened to him. I don't know if you find out what happened to him or not. Maybe it's a car accident, I'm not sure. Yeah, so basically she opens up the door to the basement where all the relics of the Warrens have been stored. She goes around and fucking touches everything, just opens up shit, rubs shit, looks inside of stuff, you know, presses all the wrong buttons, and ends up finding the glass case where Annabelle is, and like an idiot opens up the case and sets the rest of the story in motion. The entire movie is pretty much the babysitter, the Warren's daughter, and their friend trying to stop this entire domino effect of supernatural entities trying to kill them and steal their souls. And yeah, it's pretty fucked up. There's a lot of really cool effects in this. There's a lot of really good scares. There's a lot of really creepy scenes in here for sure. Definitely not for the faint of heart. If you're not used to horror movies, this one will spook the skeleton out of your asshole for sure. So watch with a friend. Yeah, there's also, with a lot of the Conjuring series spin-offs, there's kind of hints and Easter eggs at different sequels that could possibly spin out of this. My favorite being the scene with the werewolf, and they even have a bonus special feature here on the background, or on the back, talking about the behind the scenes of the werewolf creature that's in this. I like the twist though about the werewolf, and I kind of hope that Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, is about that, because they really went above and beyond for the effects of the werewolf in it, especially if you watch the behind the scenes featurette. I really dig the design. I really think that'd be sick to see a supernatural take on a werewolf story. So yeah. Anyways, lots of cool things to be found in this. Lots of like kind of offshoot stories and lots of side adventures that could be had that this movie kind of sets up, and the overall ending is really, really good too. Highly recommend Annabelle Comes Home. This was a really, really good one. I definitely enjoyed this better than the first two for sure. So yeah, this was an 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10. I'm going to say 8.5 for now, but really, really good. Hopefully you enjoy the Conjuring series and any Blumhouse films as much as I do, because they're going to be on this channel a lot. So yeah, Annabelle Comes Home, excellent third installment of the series, even though it's mostly about everything in the house and all the other creatures and shit that are in the Conjuring series. Annabelle's just kind of the beacon and the thing that kind of holds it all together. But decent Conjuring series installment in general. So yeah, check out Annabelle Comes Home. 8.5 out of 10. That's it for this Horror Films to Watch or Avoid episode. Hope you enjoyed it. The only thing that I would say to really avoid in this is The Trees Have Eyes. The rest of these, super good, so worth watching. Let me know if you've seen any of them, and let me know what you think of them, of course. Be happy to talk with you about it in the comment section below. Until next time, I will see you guys later. For glory, for the Rebel Alliance, Slammerella out. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, somebody, things and stuff.